Welcome back to Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy and we're gonna get straight into our explosive penny stock watch list. So the first stock we're looking at here is Humble on the daily time frame. Humble had a very nice day, up 8%, and we are getting very close to our uptrend right here. So overall, as long as we are below this uptrend line right here on Humble, we are bearish, but it does look like we want to claw our way back up. Our MACDs are starting to level out a little bit, and we could start to see the price action continue to go up. Overall, I do think this is a nice bottom for Humble. I don't think it can go too much lower. There's just too many people that are holding the stock. You can see the accumulation has been very steady here. We have not had any distribution, and so I can't really see Humble going down too much. And so I think right here what happened was somebody wanted cheap shares, whether it was market makers, whether it was big hedge funds, and so they tried to get the price as low as they could, and then they did scoop up some shares, and now we could be on our way back up. And I just make that prediction because I haven't seen too much selling over here at all, honestly, since the beginning here in November. And so I think as long as our accumulation stays this steady, we are poised to continue to rise here on Humble. And so this could be a consolidation phase in Humble, and by the time we start to get our financials out and we actually start to see revenue coming in here for Humble, we will start to come up. Now remember, we have yet to see any revenue on any financial statements for Humble, which is the biggest downfall in my opinion as an investor. You want to see if the company's making money and how much money they're making. And so we got our year-end 2020 financials that showed zero revenue, and so this year I know we are starting to make revenue, so I want to see exactly how much. And I think a lot of investors are also waiting. If that number is a lot less than we think, this price could go down even further. But if they blow that out of the water, this could continue to rise. So right now, it is all going to depend on our financials. And so we are going to wait and see what Brian Foote has for us. And so overall, we are just going to wait and watch. Personally, this is just a story and a narrative that I love following because I am a long-term investor in Humble and I want to see this company succeed. And I do believe they are on that path. Next stock of the day, we're looking at WDLF on the daily time frame. So today was actually a very solid day. We only closed out 4%. We were as high as about 20% today, but I want to explain to you guys why everything was so nice. Firstly, our MACD looks like it's crossing over. So if we get another green day tomorrow, that would complete our crossover, and then that will be the beginning of our reversal. So that looks extremely bullish right here. So right now we're zoomed in onto the 30-minute time frame. I'm going to show you how bullish this was. We got down today and we back tested this level of support here at around 17 cents. And what does that level of support coincide to? If you guys remember, we were trading in a bull flag for the majority of the last couple months, and so when we broke down from this level of support, we saw a very nice bear trap right here, and this was a very nice to accumulate. This is when a lot of people were starting to get nervous here on WDLF, and so you saw with the price action today, we broke past that level, we back tested it as support, and now we have this slight little triangle that we could trade out until April 26th, where we start to get this larger move. And personally, I do think that's how we are going to play this out, but this was a picturesque bear trap, and so now I'm even more bullish here on WDLF because we are getting our crossover here on the daily. I think we are about to start a very nice run up here in Social Life Network. You can just see everything has been very steady except for this bear trap, and so those of you who held through this, congratulations to you, because I do think we are at a nice point in a reversal. Next stock of the day, we're looking at IGEN on the daily time frame. So IGEN was up 2% today, and we got rejected by our level of resistance, but we have been slowly and steadily climbing. So I would not call this a rejection. I would just say we back tested this, and now we're going to need a couple more days to see if we could break past this level. You can see we're below all of our SMAs. This area around a penny is going to be a very tough level of resistance to pass in the short term, because again, this is our 100 and our 200-day SMA. And so overall, we are still below these levels. And if you just look back at any time we were below our 200-day SMA, they were buying opportunities. And so I see this as the exact same thing. We may get rejected at our 200-day SMA, but then we would love to find support here on our uptrend. And I do think that is exactly what we're about to see. We will get rejected by our 200. We'll find support on our uptrend, and then we will start to make our way up. And I think this is probably going to be the last time I buy into IGEN until I decide to ride out my shares. And so overall, everything still looks very nice and dandy. The divergence on our accumulation is what is driving my bullish sentiment right now. We have this crossover that is looming, and so you can see we have just been accumulating shares. Everything right now on a technical level has not looked better on IGEN, and I think right now WDLF and IGEN are going to be the best short-term plays for the next 6 months. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SEGI, and so SEGI had a cool down day. We are still very nicely crossed over on our MACD. We had some selling today, but overall you could see we are finding support on our 100-day SMA, and as long as we are above this level, we are bullish. But remember, we do still believe that SEGI trades at this point right here, and we are near 4 cents at around June 23rd. And so again, if we go up, if we go down, I think we are going to be at this level in June. And so overall, we're just going to wait and watch and see what SEGI, because I personally could not buy. There were restrictions out of my jurisdiction apparently, and so I was not able to get my hands on SEGI. If I was, I would be in it with y'all too right now. Next stock of the day, looking at ALYI on the daily time frame, and so we are starting to make our way back up. But again, with ALYI, we need to be above this level. If we are not above this level, we are not paying too much attention right now to ALYI. Next stock of the day, we're looking at MJNA, and so MJNA did not have the green day that we wanted, and so right now we are almost parallel here with our signal line. So we would love to see back-to-back green days if we want to see this crossover, but if we get more red days, this is just going to be a rejection off our signal line, and that is actually going to be extremely bearish. And so overall, our accumulation, you can see we've had a little bit more distribution than accumulation recently, and so we could see some bleeding continue here with MJNA. Overall, I do believe MJNA trades in this little channel right here until about June 23rd, which is about the same time as SEGI, which is very interesting. Next stock of the day is a former stock that we actually had on our penny stock watch list. We removed it and now we are bringing it back. And so we made very nice profits on the first go around, and now we are going to try to do the same thing on the second round. And so RDGL has an injectable fluid that goes straight into the tumor, and then it destroys the tumor from within. And so we have not had any sort of treatment like this on the market before. The main treatments we have are chemotherapy, which attacks all the cells, whereas this one will just focus in on the specific cell. And so that is going to leave a lot better results overall, and it's going to keep people a lot healthier if this thing does what it does. And so the reason why we had this run up here was our FDA approval. We did get rejected at that point, but we had that pre-anticipatory run. And so with pharmaceutical plays, that pre-anticipatory run is what we live for. We like to buy before we get the run up. We like to sell a majority of our profits before the FDA approval date, and we like to ride out with a little bit just in case we do get that approval, because if we get that approval, usually the stocks go up a lot. And so with RDGL right now, we have a very nice setup. We are in this little pennant right here, and so if we break this to the upside here in the beginning of May, I will be back into RDGL, because I think this is going to be another play that has the potential to be explosive. I think of all stocks that we have covered, if RDGL can accomplish what they are saying, this stock is going to the moon, and this stock is a life-changing stock. But just remember the target population. Anybody who has a chance of getting cancer, these guys have the ability to cure. And so if these guys have essentially the entire population as potential consumers, this is going to be a very, very highly valued treatment if successful. And so that is why we are so big here on RDGL. And if we get this break past here, we will be back in for that pre-anticipatory run again. Next stock of the day, look at HYSR on the daily time frame. So down 12%. You guys already know this is not a stock that I personally would want to be in Again, we have a lot more distribution than accumulation. We are still at a negative MACD that is now parallel. So if we get another red day tomorrow, that would be a rejection off our signal line. We got a crossover of our 50 and our 100, so that was bearish. And overall, I do expect HYSR to trade a lot lower in the medium to long term. Next stock of the day, we're looking at ACDC on the daily time frame. So we were up 10% today, and this stock seems very poised for a nice breakout. We filled our gap to the downside, and now we broke past a key level of resistance all above our uptrend. Our MACD does look like it is potentially ready to cross if we get a nice green day tomorrow. If our volume starts to pick up, I do believe ACDC is going to break to the upside. This is going to be a very nice play. Everything still looks very nice here on ACDC. You can see steady accumulation, not too much selling overall, and we may be ready for our next level up here in ACDC. Next stock of the day, we're looking at High Tide on the daily time frame. So we were pretty much flat here today, down about 1%. We are still trading in our pennant. Nothing really changed here. Just again, reminder of this gap here at 31 cents with High Tide. That dilution is going to be a killer for the stock, and that is the one thing that I don't like about this company. Overall, I do believe shareholders will reap benefits later on in the future, but in the short term, we may be in for a turbulent run. Next stock of the day, we're looking at STAF on the daily time frame. So we were up about 0.6%. We could be getting a bottom right here. We see our MACD starting to get in line right now with our signal line, and so this could be a short-term bottom. You guys know I do like STAF for a swing play at these levels, and so right now you could see with our low volume, this could be indicative of a nice bottom. Next stock of the day, we're looking at SNDL on the daily time frame. So sundial is still in no man's land below our 100-day SMA. We really want to see the price action on this uptrend, but until we do, we are not paying too much mind here on SNDL. You could see that any sort of news will run this to the moon because of how close our signal line is to our MACD. So this is signaling a bottom in the short term, but again, we just want confirmation, and so that's why we want the price action above this point. But buying at these levels probably will be a profitable trade in the future. There you guys have it. That was our quick little update on our explosive penny stock watch list. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. We are on the road to 10K subs, so if you made it to this point, feel free to hit that subscription button. This is Dummy Boy Finance. I'm Dummy Boy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.